Hey, happy Friday to you. Young man asked me a question about decals. How can you protect them? So, when I buy a kit, peel the cellophane, one of the first things that I do, I take the decals and I put them inside the instructions. Now, some of the kits, Revell, let's just use Revell as an example. Okay, Revell and AMT now, they will now take the decal sheet and they'll lay like a wax paper piece over top, which protects them. Okay, so what you're seeing here, now this particular set, I believe this kit came out in the early 2000s, so let's say it's probably about 22 years old. Okay, these decals are pristine. Okay, now they were inside here just like this. Whoever had the kit before me took very good care of it. You have to keep them dry and you have to keep them in a cool place. Okay, that helps tremendously. So that takes care of that. Now, if you are going to have a long-term storage, okay, going back to what we talked about the last 2 weeks, then what you do, you will take one of the bags, and you can do this with, if you're taking apart the kits like we're talking about, you could take 5 or 6 of these, slide them into the decal sheet, or I'm sorry, in the instructions, slide them in here, put them in a cabinet. That takes care of that. Now, you want to go a step further, and this is something that the blonde picked up for me years and years ago. Okay, these are for scrapbooks. Okay, and what you can do, everything's labeled as to what it is. Okay, and they're all sealed. Now, some of these decals are probably 20 years old. Okay, there's a sleeve, and plus they're still in the original packages. Okay, these are around to it if I ever get around to it. The single most important thing is to keep them dry and or protected and in a cool place. Okay, you don't want heat, you don't want humidity, etc., etc. It will destroy the decals. Also, like I said, the best thing to do is to tuck them into the instructions. That way they're protected against kit parts sliding across them, the interior. Another thing that happened a lot back in the day was, you know, hey, let's see, yeah, this is an AMT. This would be stuck to your decal sheet and ruin the decals. Alright, that takes care of that, hopefully, young sir. Now, I was recently contacted, actually yesterday, by an individual from the UK, and he was asking about clear coating over decals and the steps that I take. So, I do not, as a rule, clear coat over decals. Okay, I just feel that that invites Murphy into the mess. Now, I did a video a long time ago showing if a decal gets screwed up, you take a little piece of Scotch tape, you stick it on, you pull it off, and you can put another decal over top, not a problem. Okay, so my steps with that procedure is, my body is painted, it flashes out, I wet sand it, okay, all the way up to 12,000. Alright, then I clear coat. After I've applied the clear coat, then I put the decals on. That's the end of that. I do have several customers that insist that they want their decals clear coated over. So these are the steps that I take. I don't agree with it, because if at the and the reason why, and I'll explain why. You got a slicks decal set for one of the drag cars. Alright, you lay all your decals down. Okay, so you get the one side of the car done, you flip it around, you're working, you inadvertently bump a decal and it goes a little sideways, or you mar it, or it marks up. Okay, so when you shoot that clear coat over top of that, that's there forever. Now my way of doing it, if I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, piece of Scotch tape, pull it off and put another sponsor decal on, no problem. Now they'll take a little bit of handling, you just have to be careful how you do it. Okay, so customer insists that they want clear coat over top of it. Okay, say it's for a slot car. Alright, so they want to protect it. So the first thing you do is you shoot it the color you want it, then you wet sand it all the way up to 12,000. Okay, you wash it off, blow dry it off. It has to be completely dry. Okay, then you apply your decals. Set it in a metal cabinet for 24 hours or however long it takes, you know, for when you get back to it. Let's put it that way. Metal cabinet, and make sure that it's sealed. That way you don't get dust, dirt, debris, or anything else in. When you're ready to paint it, you take it out, take 32 psi and go over the entire body.
With clear, right?
No, not yet. You want to go over that with 32 psi. And there's a reason for this, okay? Because sometimes if you have a decal that has silvered and it's not really stock, as soon as you hit it with that 32 psi, it floats away. Well, glad you caught it then. Glad you caught it then, because it was loose. It wasn't all the way down. Alright? So, go over the entire body with the 32 psi. Everything's copacetic. Then you lay your clear light mist coats over top. Okay? And you have to watch with some of these decals, with some of these paint products, because if you don't do the light mist coats, the decal's liable to go south on you. It might fracture, it might melt, etc. These are the reasons why I do not, as a rule, clear coat over decals. Okay, so everything's copacetic. You laid the clear down, it flashes up. Then you wet sand it all the way up to 12,000, and then you can polish it all out. So I hope this helps you out. I know you use the word varnish, which is what the UK refers to as clear coat. Caught on to that. God bless you. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I hope this helps, and we'll see you next Friday. Y'all take care.